On this Memorial Day weekend, we celebrate America's true heroes who have given so much to their country. In no race, on no track, is the toughness and resolve that America symbolizes more evident than here in Charlotte. A day race that runs into night, where teamwork is of the essence, and no team is more in tune with the tricks of this track than the number 48 team.
He did it! 3 in a row, Jimmy Johnson!
While NASCAR realizes who America's real heroes are, sometimes sports allows others to be heroes, even if it's just for one day.
It's a day for racing and remembering. Fox Sports welcomes you to Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, North Carolina. The ultimate endurance test, the Coca-Cola 600. A blend of power and pageantry at a crowd of 175,000 on this Memorial Day weekend. You'll have the best seat in the house. Everybody chasing 4-time champ Jeff Gordon off to one of the best starts in NASCAR history. Jimmy Johnson has called this his house. Dale Earnhardt Jr. a lot on his mind. Has yet to win this year. Same for 2-time champ Tony Stewart. It's NASCAR on Fox. We're glad you're spending your weekend with us, along with Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers. A salute to all those families of the troops out there and those who have fallen for our country. 3-time NASCAR champ Darrell Waltrip here to help us. Is that your phone?
Boogity! Answer the phone, you big dummy!
What's that all about?
Well, you can get that if you like boogity, boogity, boogity and other things that go along with it. Hey, go to Jamster and keyword DW. Password 75555, and you can have a ringtone like that on your phone.
It's our boss, David Hill. He said marketing.
DW Store. You can also get on DW Store, by the way.
DWStore.com.
Yes. Can we move along here? We got a big race coming up here tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's just for fun. That's just to annoy someone if you wanted to.
Ryan Newman is on the pole. We know about Jimmy's and Casey Kane's dominance. But, Darrell, you won this race 5 times, the longest race of the NASCAR season. What does it take to win it?
Focus and concentration, and that's the hardest thing to do. When you start this race tonight, this racetrack is going to be slick. Your car is going to be very difficult to drive. That's when you need to be at your best, because you got to hang on to that thing. Good news for you is it's going to get better. So as the driver fatigues, the car gets better, and he should be able to hang on to it and take her home to victory lane.
I see that's the driver's perspective. From the crew chief's perspective, he's got to have that kind of car that can be tuned and work with. I know we got the driver. He's got to hang on to it for a while, but we've got to have a race car that can go through all these different phases and be at the top of this game the final 100 miles.
And it's an important race for drivers to win. Kevin Harvick, the driver who's won more money than anybody else this year, nearly $4 million, will start this evening's race 27th. That shouldn't be a problem, though. Remember, he started 34th, went on to win the Daytona 500. The former California high school wrestler has never won this race, the 600, but he's riding high after last week's All-Star win at Lowe's.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! This is when you find out who's been holding back. Look at Harvick go! Like he shot out of a rocket. Checkered flag, Harvick! Kevin Harvick wins the Nextel All-Star Challenge.
And Kevin Harvick, a guy worth watching here. Darrell, let me ask you, because there was a time when he almost wasn't going to stay with Richard Childress Racing, maybe go on his own, and his temperament was an issue. Obviously, maturity, part of his success.
Yeah, I think so. As you get older, you get better. As you get older, you get wiser, and he's a perfect example of that. Plus, Richard Childress has really turned his operation around. He brought in new engine people. He brought in new aero people. And Kevin complained, and Richard Childress listened and made some big changes, and now you see the results. So drivers don't always complain just to be complaining, unlike what he thought.
I wish he was pretty mature. I've been waiting for that to happen.
That hasn't happened yet.
I'm close. I'm really close.
After that phone thing, I want to answer you, dummy.
I'm getting really close.
But the thing was, when you think about Kevin Harvick, what I like about him right now, he's a big money driver. Look at it, guys. He's won the Indy Brickyard at Indy. He's won the Daytona 500. He's won the All-Star race. The only thing he really lacks now is a Coca-Cola 600 to go along with the championship, and he knows how to do that because he's won back-to-back Busch Series championships. He's a big money driver.
All right, one of the drivers we'll be watching tonight before the marathon begins. We'll dash around the turn. Here's what's ahead. The weekend, we celebrate those who protected our country, everyone from Dale Jr. to our DW, showing their support for the troops And he might be driving away from the competition, but he can't hide from his past. Jeff Gordon does a little photo finish with us. Plus, Gordon and all the Hendrick drivers benefit from a strong army of crew chiefs. We'll introduce you to the guys behind the guys. And we'll talk with the beautiful, talented, supernaturally gifted, and self-proclaimed Jessica Alba. Wow, she deserves a wow. She'll be joining us here. All that, plus our guys with gas and go, a little drive and ride, a fantastic aerial stunt you won't want to miss on Fox.
We get to talk to drivers. He gets to talk to us.
In Charlotte this weekend, it's Memorial Day weekend, which is a very important weekend with a NASCAR race and tons of troops here at the NASCAR race and singing the national anthem to honor the country, but more importantly here to support the troops. And I do a lot of work with an organization called the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes. And the coalition basically reintegrates wounded soldiers back into society when they come home from the war. And it's something that's really touched my life and my heart.
Thanks, Leanne. And on Thursday, our own Darrell Waltrip had the privilege of re-enlisting Senior Chief William Trippett into the U.S. Navy. Darrell, along with his lifelong friend, ENCS Clifford Smith, U.S. Navy retired, we call him Smitty, administered the oath. And afterwards, the Senior Chief giving Darrell a plaque for his continuing support of the armed forces. Many of the cars in today's race proudly testifying to NASCAR's bond with our troops, the armed forces. Jeff Gordon's car, a Department of Defense color scheme, an America Supports You sign, and you can put camouflage on a car, but you really can't hide the appreciation that we all have for those who serve and have served our country. And a short time ago, four-star General Peter Pace of the U.S. Marine Corps, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, stopped by the America's Hero tent to address thousands of soldiers who are attending here and ready to watch the race. And again, a day to remember and to appreciate. I know we all have, do, and certainly those drivers in the race. We got an update on Kevin Harvick, apparently an engine change, so he's going to have to go even further to the back of the pack, 40th, 41st, depending.
And you know, he's only led 2 laps at this racetrack in a Cup car. I saw that, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that really surprises me, but at least he's got an extra 100 miles to get that number 29 car back up toward the front.
He'll have plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Jimmy Johnson, he calls this track my house, and it's tough to argue with the marathon man. He's won 3 of the last 4 Coca-Cola 600s. He's the real thing.
Jimmy Johnson says this is his house. Here he comes, Jimmy Johnson!
That is the man. He's the master of this place.
It's his 7th win at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Our birthday boy, Dick Berggren, is with Jimmy Johnson. Dick, happy birthday.
Thank you. And you talked about Jimmy Johnson winning 3 of the 4. Chris, the only one he didn't win was last year, and he finished 2nd. But the car has not been as fast as we're accustomed to seeing, Jimmy. What is going on?
It's been loose. We have been working hard to get it tightened up and hoping the track's going to come our direction. But I think we made some really good changes to the car. We didn't post the fastest laps that we wanted to on new tires, but I think on the long run we're in good shape, and we'll just have to put in 600 tonight and see what we get.
Well, he starts mid-pack tonight, but he has twice won here at Lowe's from dead last following engine changes.
All right, and again, happy birthday, Dick. I don't want to say you've been around, but I know you were the pit reporter in the War of 1812. Nice work there. I read about that in history.
Well, it's not how old you are, it's how you are. And I feel like I'm 30, and this is a wonderful opportunity. Look at me riding around Lowe's Motor Speedway with Jimmy Johnson on a Sunday night on Fox. What could be better?
You're a guy who will wear out, not rust out, Dick. That's the spirit. We kid because we care, but he's serious. Jimmy Johnson always credits the crew behind him at Hendrick Motorsports, and the 4 teams at Hendrick have such great chemistry. Laboratory professors are chasing him. This season, they've won 8 of the 11 races. Here's the chief reason for their success.
Hi, I'm Steve Letarte.
Hey, I'm Chad Kanowski.
I'm Darian Grubb.
I'm Alan Gustafson.
Originally from Cornish, Maine.
From Floyd, Virginia.
And I'm from Rockford, Illinois. From Ormond Beach, Florida. I've been crew chief for Jimmy now since 2002, about 5.5 years.
This is my first year as crew chief of the number 25.
This is my 3rd year as crew chief for number 5.
I've been crew chiefing now for a year and a half, almost 2 years for Jeff, and I've been employed here since I was a young little man at 15 years old, so this is my 14th season.
Here at Hendrick Motorsports, I've done everything from changing tires to a fabricator.
I swept the floor as a janitor.
Body shop assistant to a body hanger.
Mechanic, a tire specialist.
And I've even swept the floors here.
If it's been done here at the company, I've done it. Every time, you gotta clean your bristles, see?
The relationship I have with Kyle is cool. When we get a little bit of spare time, I like to go to his bus and crush him in whatever game he wants to play. KB, anytime you're ready.
Away from the racetrack, I enjoy spending time outdoors, going fishing, riding four-wheelers, and anything I can do just to get outdoors and enjoy the outside.
Obviously, Jimmy and I get along great at the racetrack, but one thing people may not know is that we get along off the racetrack as well. Go play golf, maybe skiing, some dinner.
I'm just a different sort of crew chief here at the company. I'm much more of a people person, I think, than the other three. I have to be a people guy because I'm not smart enough to be a crew chief without them.
Something else you guys may not know about me is the fact that I've been a crew chief since my mid-teens. Crew chief for my father in the late models back in Rockford, Illinois.
A nickname I kind of like to forget about is Hogman. I was working for my dad's construction company. He used to wear a Harley-Davidson hat all the time.
I mean, I'm getting a lot of dirt here. Look at that. That wouldn't happen when I was around. No way. Mr. H would not accept that. That is not clean enough for Mr. Hendrick.
And 6 Cup championships for Hendrick.
All I got to say, it's about time. It's about time the crew chiefs got their just due. It's not always about the driver.
Yeah, but you always wanted a gold-plated broom.
All right,
what was up with that?
But who's the boss in the end? Who has to make the call when it matters most? The crew chief or the driver? Come on, you're at the wheel.
You know what?
He better listen.
The driver sometimes will beg the crew chief to make the call. The worst thing a driver can
so you can
hear,
blame somebody.
No, the worst thing you can hear when you're out there working away, what do you want to do? What do you mean, what do I want to do?
And see, I agree with him.
Yeah.
He's out there. I'm asking him to drive that race car and focus on the car. I'll run what goes on pit road. I'll tell him what the gas situation is. I'll tell him about the tires. He just needs to drive the race car.
No, let me tell you. Yeah. I will tell him what he needs to know, what I need to be doing. Cars loose here, there, and somewhere else.
And they
but
do
it's
that.
his job to fix
That's
it.
exactly
not
right.
mine.
That's what I'm saying. You can't do both. You just need to be able to drive it and give the information back. I'll figure it out.
Comes on the radio and says save a little fuel.
We think Hendrick has the best drivers. Do they have the best crew chiefs?
It's chemistry. It's totally chemistry.
That's a cop-out. Come on.
No, it's not. It's not. Tell him.
Here's what I see. It's just like us. What are the people that Fox hires? Why do they hire them? They're passionate. They love what they do. Those guys, all 4 of them, are racers. They've been there. They've done that. They've got the experience. They love their job, and they can't wait to get to the track for the next race. That's what makes them good.
Did you start in broadcasting sweeping the floor?
Yes, I did. And I may end up there.
There's my answer right there. You're passionate.
Should have swept him out the door.
I have to sweep up the Hollywood Hotel later. Since the development of the current point system at 75, Gordon has the biggest lead that any driver has ever had at this point of the season. We're a third of the way through. Kurt Busch has jumped 13 spots in the last 6 races. Junior fell a couple. Remember when he got penalized for that incident at Darlington? And speaking of Junior, they dropped that appeal, so they'll serve the punishment. We look forward to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's never won here at the 600. He hasn't won this year, maybe that first win of the year, but he's as cool as Vincent Chase. He's ready to roll.